Hello YouTube, this is Thompson0737 bringing you another model airport to the channel. This is a completely new project. In terms of the concept of the idea behind this kind of style airport, based on a Spanish themed airport, it's not the very first one I've done. I've done a couple in the past that have been kind of representing what you might expect to see based on Spanish kind of themed airport. Most of them have been based on Balearic Island airport, so either Palma or Ibiza usually. This one specifically is more based on Palma de Mallorca Module A, and there are a lot of features that are pretty much exact to how that it would be presented in real life. So I wouldn't say it's officially a replica, but I've made it to my own kind of, but there are a lot of features that do replicate parts of the airport, such as a stand layout and stuff like that. But again, I may have cut things out and changed things here and there to adhere to the space I can work with. So the idea of this airport, I think with lockdown, everything during the pandemic, I wanted to do an airport that was quite upbeat, refreshing. The idea of holiday makers coming in and that kind of aspect. There's also that aspect in the UK airport, obviously passengers going away. But this is far more diverse for me to showcase, again, a lot of models that I haven't shown yet. We are going to be starting early years, so this is actually going to be starting off in the sort of mid-90s, so 1994 will be the initial year, and then we'll work our way through, so 1994, 1995. Some updates may consist of the same year, depending how many aircraft are active during that year, and if there's anything specific operating only during that year. Again, updates probably will be uploaded weekly. Obviously it's Friday now, so whether they will be uploaded every Friday, I don't know. I'll probably keep that going as much as I can, but the day may change if I do get busy and such and everything like that. So I mean, it took me pretty much a week to do this, pretty solid. I was working on it solid every day. I'd say at a guess maybe 4 to 5 hours, or maybe a maximum of 6 hours a day, spaced out. So I'd be working on it maybe like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, and then a little bit in the evening. A total amount of hours I wouldn't have a clue, but it did take a while to actually do the actual concept of the layout, the details and stuff like that. I'm going to run through, this is more of an introduction video if you like, and then we'll crack on with, I'll do the actual update itself with the models on a separate video, just so it's not too long and you can get an idea of the concept of the airport itself. So what I'm going to do is a bit of like a tour guide of the actual layout itself, and explain what I've added in and stuff like that, and the changes I've made to adhere to the space I am working with, and then we'll, like I say, in the next video that will be uploaded straight after this, there will be that will be more of an airport update, the very first airport update. So what I want to do is just zoom in slightly over this section. As you can see, we've got these porter cabins here. This on Google Maps is like a little car park. I've added like little car park spaces with little cars as well. The cars themselves are 1/450 scale, which you can find on a T-Gauge model railway store online. I don't know if it's an actual store shop, but it is online and you can get them there. They're all like sort of made, pre-painted, everything. And one of them does actually have like an open door, so it's like a little truck. So that's a little neat feature for them. I'm not entirely sure what this area is in real life, but I just wanted to replicate something like it, and it fills a gap in, I guess, rather than it just being a little bit bare and everything like that. Moving across, you've got the main terminal building. This is made out of Lego again. I just find Lego so easy to do. You can design it on Lego Digital Designer, which makes it easy. You can compile a list. The only downside is sometimes when you're doing things like this, Lego don't always have the pieces you want. And that is a real pain in the arse, if I'm honest. It just means, you've got to either think about, if they haven't got, like, let's say you're working with a size 16 piece and they haven't got that, you're going to have to work out how, like if you use a size 12, what other pieces will you need. It can be a bit confusing. The air bridges themselves are JC wings. By far the best air bridges I've ever come across in 1400. The concept of these, I think you need a bit of space to work with them. Unless you find a way to utilise them and take them, because they do come separated, so you can use them in any way you like. For the concept of this, we definitely need that space from the terminal building to where the aircraft actually park. Enough space to accommodate for that, with the main section leading to the actual terminal itself. One downside, one change in difference to these air bridges that is different to Palma Airport's air bridges at Module A, or I think across the airport itself, the actual stairs on the air bridges are actually on the opposite side. So as we're looking at it there on the left, in Palma they will be on the right. So they'd be kind of on the inside section, if you like. So that's the only difference with these. Where the LTU MD-11 is parked, when I was drawing it all out, I was using a 2E789, and unfortunately with that kind of aircraft, the air bridge seemed to conflict, or certainly the stairs on the air bridge seemed to conflict with the engine. Don't think that's going to be a massive problem, but that was a little sort of feature that I noticed that may, like I said, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but easy to work around, that kind of thing, all that kind of stuff. But it's just something I picked up on while drawing everything out. But for the most part, most other aircraft will work perfectly fine, as you can see with the MD-11 in place. The road markings I've done to the best of my ability, roughly what they have in real life as well. There's like two main lanes. I don't know, there's like a blue lane in the middle. I don't really know what that's for. I don't know if that's for baggage carts or what, I'm not entirely sure. But it's for something, some sort of vehicle. Then you have two road systems, and on either side you have like bus, where buses can pull in. Then obviously you've got the pedestrian crossings, which I've included. And just to make it look a little bit more neat, I added like black lines either side of them, just to kind of finish them off and make it a little bit more neat, because all the white lines, if I'm honest, were not totally all in sync kind of thing. So it just makes it look fresher and cleaner with that kind of border around the crossings themselves. If we pan across over to this side, we have a little office building. Again, this is me just making things up, but a little office building with a few vehicles, a few spare air stairs as well. And then just to fill the gap, we have this little cargo centre building as well. As you can see there, we have floodlights. We have 4 floodlights across this section. They are Fantasy Wings, and I just think they add a nice little touch to the layout. Again, another little crossing on a little road section leading past the cargo centre. There's also a roundabout as well. That was probably one of the worst, not one of the worst parts, but one of the parts I didn't know how I was going to do it initially. The actual roundabout itself may be a little bit wider than it should be in terms of general diameter, but I think the actual look of it has come out really well. In the middle, I'm using like these little jet blast barriers, and I think they're probably 3D printed. I got them as like a bundle of GSE at one point, and they are pretty neat, to be fair. If I could get hold of maybe some more of them, I might consider that. But they just sort of fill in the middle of the roundabout, and that's a pretty neat kind of feature. If I just kind of zoom in maybe slightly, you can see them in better detail. In terms of accessories, I'm trying to use 1/400 for the most part, but air stairs and stuff, they are actually 1/500. I think they work better, and stuff like that. Some of the vehicles maybe 1/500 as well, but for the most part I am using 1/400. 2 remote stands there as well. Initially I thought I was only going to include one, but it turns out I had room to include both. So you will probably see aircraft on them as well. I think I've seen the likes of Ryanair using them and stuff, remote stands. And again, I don't know what stands exactly all airlines would have used at Palma Airport. So I will be making it my own and sort of utilise aircraft where I think are necessary and stuff like that. Also, one thing to note on the main apron section, the stands are pretty much as they should be. So they're all at different angles, as you can maybe see. This was probably the largest section, or the longest ongoing section I had to work with, measuring things out on Google Maps and bringing it down here, writing all the measurements down. I'm trying to replicate it as best as I can. Again, it might not be 100% perfect, but the actual outcome is, well, really the best that I could have hoped for, really. And it just adds that different character. You know what? Not all the stands are parallel facing the terminal. They're all kind of different angles and stuff. And there are 1 or 2 that are kind of parallel, but for the most part, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are sort of like offset and at different angles. And it just adds to the character. Moving across, I really wanted to include this stand here. So this pale section here is for wide-body aircraft. So obviously we can accommodate wide-body aircraft on the main stands, but anything special cargo-wise, or just want to point out, cargo is not going to be massive on this like my other airport, just as and when and based on real-life movements at Palma. But you will see aircraft parking there. I've also seen pictures of EasyJet using the sort of dash line that you may be able to see, which is 103 Bravo. The diagonal line is stand 103, like I say, for bigger aircraft. That'd be good for like charter stuff as well, bigger charter aircraft and maybe business jets, stuff like that. So really wanted to include that stand so we can accommodate other aircraft as well. Then obviously we've got the main taxiways either side. Then the main concept of this middle stand layout, I apologise by the way if the light is blooming through. I don't think it is, but it's just we've got like a sun window, like a window in the roof, and the sun's just emitting down. These middle section stands, there should be 6 in real life, but I've narrowed it down to just 4, which I think is more than adequate enough. You get the sense of what I've tried to replicate. If you go on Google Maps, I'm sure you can see the similarities. Again, the stand numbers work from right to left, so it should be, in real life it would be 104 to 109, but I've only done 104 to 107. The taxiway markings and everything like that are pretty much roughly in the correct places they should be, based on real life as well. So we pan across and we have this remote stand here. Initially my idea was to continue with like the remote stands that we've just seen in the middle, but then I thought no, let's keep it as realistic as we can and do what the stand layout is like in the modern day. So obviously back in the 1994, the stand layout wouldn't have been like this. But, you know, it's a model airport, you've got to work with what you've got. So that's another remote stand that we can have. Again, you know, when we do updates, I'll figure out probably what aircraft, you know, will feature and stuff like that. As a, you know, where I think appropriate. And then finishing off on the bottom here, we have the main taxiway. I don't know if it's known as Taxiway North. I'm guessing it might be. It does have like north markings here and there, so I imagine it might be called that. And then we do have like exits and entrances. So we have what would be a runway exit here, and if I pan across to this section here, another runway. What would be another runway exit? That one says no entry. So obviously aircraft can't enter there. And yeah, I guess that's a general observation of the layout itself. If, of course, you have any questions, then please feel free to ask. Any questions about anything in relation to this airport, please, I don't mind answering questions. And as always, I appreciate the support. And again, I really hope you guys look forward to the future updates on this project. In the next update, straight after this is uploaded, I will upload the kind of first official update, focusing more on the aircraft themselves. So stay tuned for that, and it won't be too long before that's published. So thank you for watching. Until next time.